Montreal is pretty much the epitome of French Canada and a city you shouldn't miss whilst in Quebec. It is after all the largest city in the French-speaking Quebec province in Canada and the second largest in all of Canada. As it's pretty big, there's a shed load of amazing and best things to do in Montreal during any season. That's the thing about Montreal, it's not the kind of city that just shuts down during the winter months, there's something going on all year round. Better still, Montreal is a totally fun and pretty city to explore, plus, the food here is amazing. So, here's the list of the 15 best things to do in Montreal, Canada. Before we start, make sure you subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for the latest upcoming travel videos. Here we go. Number 1. Notre-Dame Basilica. The Notre-Dame Basilica is one of the most impressive churches we've ever seen and is undoubtedly one of the top things to see in Montreal. On the outside, the Gothic Revival-style building looks more like it belongs in France or Germany than Canada thanks to its two towers and decorated facade. But it's the inside that really sets the basilica apart from other churches. The interior of the Notre-Dame Basilica is a festival of purples, deep blues, reds, and golds. The star-laced ceiling and altar have a unique glow, almost as if they're lit from within. The front and sides are filled with hundreds of wooden carvings, artwork, and stained glass. Number 2. Montreal Botanical Garden. Thanks to 10 large greenhouses, each tailored to a specific theme, the 190-acre Botanical Gardens is home to more than 22,000 species of flora and offers scenic year-round respite from the metropolis downtown core. Spend some time strolling through the tranquil bonsai trees in the Japanese garden or learn about the principles of yin and yang in the Chinese garden, which showcases designs from the 14th to 17th century Ming Dynasty. Outdoor gardens include a colorful rose garden and a stunning alpine garden. Recent visitors called the garden a must-visit with lots to see. If you're visiting with kids, don't miss the ever-popular toxic plant garden. What's more, the Insectarium is one of the largest insect museums in North America, with more than 250,000 specimens of living and naturalized insects. Number 3. Old Montreal. Old Montreal is a tourist central in Montreal. The area is home to a remarkable concentration of buildings dating from the 17th, 18th, and 19th centuries and has the delightful feel of a Parisian-style quarter. Many of these historic buildings are now hotels, restaurants, galleries, and souvenir shops. If you are looking to base yourself in the city for a few days of sightseeing, this is the best place to stay. Its many historic sites, streets, and landmarks are easily explored on foot. Of the many things to do here, the highlights are visiting the Notre-Dame Basilica, strolling down Rue Saint-Paul, wandering around Bonsecours Market, and enjoying the open-air gathering space of Place Jacques Cartier. Number 4. Jean Talon Market. There's just something about markets. There are so many bright colors, enticing smells, and appealing displays. The energy and atmosphere of a local market always guarantees a good time, and the markets here deliver on that in spades. They're some of the most lively places to go in Montreal. The two biggest and most tourist-friendly markets in Montreal are Atwater Market and Jean Talon Market. Both have a wide variety of fresh produce, prepared foods, and restaurant stands offering everything from Turkish specialties to lobster rolls to pulled pork. In Little Italy, Jean Talon, which has a multicultural feel, stretches for several blocks and includes food, flowers, and an array of handmade goods. Atwater, along the Lachine Canal, teems with plants, local and imported produce, and fabulous specialty stores. Number 5. St. Joseph's Oratory. Another grand religious site in Montreal, St. Joseph's Oratory is a Roman Catholic basilica and national shrine, as well as Canada's largest church. The construction of a smaller church began in 1904, but the final product we have today was not completed until 1967. Visitors will find the Oratory Museum on site, showcasing treasured religious art of the church and Quebec. Tours are also available, as well as gardens that lead to Montreal. It really is one of the best things to do in Montreal if you're already in the area. If you're feeling peckish, head over to Bistro L'Entrepont, which serves up some of the tastiest French-Canadian dishes that are just too good to miss. Number 6. The Montreal Museum of Fine Arts. The Montreal Museum of Fine Arts is the oldest museum in Canada and houses vast collections of painting, sculpture, and new media. Its outstanding collections of world cultures and Mediterranean archaeology total nearly 10,000 objects, and there are excellent collections of African, Asian, and Islamic art, as well as art from North and South America. The more than 1,400 paintings, sculptures, drawings, and prints include masterpieces by Peter Bruegel the Younger, Canaletto, El Greco, Gainsborough, Goya, Montaigne, Poussin, Rembrandt, Tiepolo, and Veronese, and are particularly strong in artworks of the Dutch Golden Age. The collections continue, from the Realists and Impressionists to modern art, containing works by Cézanne, Dali, Miro, Monet, Derain, Kandinsky, Matisse, Picasso, Rodin, Otto Dix, and other influential artists. Number 7. Montreal Biodome. Visited by over 1 million people a year, the Montreal Biodome is a must-see attraction when visiting, especially if you have children. This massive complex is home to 4 different indoor ecosystems: the tropical rainforest, the Laurentian maple forest, the Gulf of St. Lawrence, and the subantarctic islands. As you wander through each ecosystem, you will be fully immersed in the features of that environment. Lush greenery, birds, and monkeys surround you in the tropical rainforest. In the Gulf of St. Lawrence environment, you'll find cool temperatures, fish, otters, and a simulated ocean. When you wander through the Laurentian maple forest, be sure to look for the elusive porcupine. Most likely he or she will be snoozing high up in a tree. In the subantarctic ecosystem, the penguins steal the show. Number 8. Barbie Expo. This whimsical exhibit, in what it bills as the largest permanent collection of Barbie dolls in the world, has more than 1,000 Barbies on display. Many of the dolls have been dressed to the nines by designers such as Christian Dior, Armani, Vera Wang, Bill Blass, Oscar de la Renta, and practically any other fashion designer you can think of. There's even a fashion show, with Barbie models on the catwalk, with a Barbie audience in attendance. In addition, special celebrity-themed Barbies, such as Marilyn Monroe, Elizabeth Taylor, and Cher are on display, as well as Barbies designed as movie characters, such as the cast from The Wizard of Oz and The Twilight Saga. Recent visitors said the exhibit is fun, adorable, and for many, brings them back to their childhood. Admission to the museum, which is located in the Les Cours Mont-Royal shopping center, is free. Number 9. Mount Royal Park. Mount Royal is one of the most popular places to visit in Montreal, and it's not hard to see why. The walk to the top takes about 30 minutes if you take the direct trail, or can take a couple of hours if you take a leisurely stroll around the mountain and then up. From the top, head to a spot called Candiaron Belvedere. You will get a panoramic view of Montreal, which is especially beautiful at sunrise or sunset. Mount Royal Park is also located here and is full of picnic sites, ice skating rinks, tennis courts, and rowboating lakes. You won't run out of things to do in this area, so make sure you leave a couple of hours to explore. If you don't fancy walking up to the top, you can also go on an electric bike ride on Mount Royal. Number 10. Montreal Museum of Archaeology and History. An absolute must for anyone interested in history, the fantastic Pointe-Callière Museum tells the fascinating story of Montreal's founding and how it flourished through the ages. As well as being home to endless artifacts and exhibits, the modern-looking museum complex is built atop an archaeological site that was the city's first settlement. Since its opening in 1992, the Archaeology and History Museum has won numerous awards for its well-presented exhibitions and hands-on activities. Besides exploring the foundations of the city's first buildings, visitors can learn all about the arrival of Amerindians in the area and the early days when Montreal was a fledgling colony. In addition to all its educational and interesting multimedia clips, the museum also regularly hosts cultural events and temporary exhibits. Number 11. Old Port. Vieux Port in French, the Old Port has a 400-year history dating back to the time when fur trading was the economic engine of the day. Today, its purpose has changed from the exchange of goods to entertainment and enjoying the outdoors. Each year, more than 6 million people come to the Old Port for attractions like the Ferris wheel, the Montreal Science Center, river cruises, and the clock tower and its summertime beach. We enjoyed grabbing lunch at the food truck and watching the people on the zip line soar high above our heads. In the winter, the Old Port is the place for ice skating and even ice fishing. Number 12. Parc Jean-Drapeau. Spend a day at Parc Jean-Drapeau, just 5 minutes from downtown Montreal. It is made up of two islands, St. Helens Island and Notre-Dame Island. The islands were the site of the Expo 67 World's Fair, and it continues to attract visitors, with Six Flags La Ronde amusement park operating here, as well as the Montreal Biosphere, Montreal Casino, and the Victorian-era fortifications at St. Helens Island Fort. Best things to do in Montreal, St. Helens Island. One of the most unique things to do here is to get your bike and hop on the Circuit Gilles-Villeneuve, a 4,361-meter-long car racing track that hosts the Canadian Grand Prix. Cyclists and inline skaters take advantage of its smooth surface to do some training. There's a great water complex and 25 kilometers of hiking trails. Be sure to catch the Weekends du Monde, which is a festival that happens every Sunday celebrating French culture and traditions through music and art. Number 13. Place des Arts. The Place des Arts is an entire complex dedicated to visual and performing arts, the largest of its kind in all of Canada. 3 great cultural organizations make their home here: the Montreal Symphony Orchestra, Les Grands Ballets Canadiens, and the Opéra de Montreal, and its various stages and rehearsal halls provide venues for all kinds of theater, music, dance, films, and events. These sit around a large esplanade decorated with works of art, fountains, and water cascades, a popular venue for events. The most important of these is the annual Summer Festival International de Jazz de Montreal, held in late June and early July, attracting visitors from all over the world and bringing in some of the biggest names in jazz. The Musée d'Art Contemporain de Montreal, a contemporary art museum, is particularly worth a visit, especially as young French-Canadian artists are accorded special prominence. Number 14. Centre Bell. If you're after an exhilarating and quintessentially Canadian experience, then you can't beat going to watch a game of ice hockey at the Bell Centre. It is here, in the largest hockey arena in the world, that the Montreal Canadiens play their frenetic and fast-paced games in front of thousands of fans. Opened in 1996, the massive, multi-purpose arena can be found right in the center of town, just a stone's throw from many of the city's main attractions. Although mostly known for hosting action-packed National Hockey League games, it puts on other sports and entertainment events too. As such, it is the best place to head if you want to watch a concert, see a basketball game, or a hockey match. Number 15. McCord Stewart Museum. The McCord Museum has an outstanding collection of exhibits on Canada's social history, especially Native peoples. Its collections of costumes, clothing, accessories, quilts, and other handmade textiles total more than 20,000 objects and include works by Montreal fashion designers. More than 1,000 pieces of furniture, silver, ceramics, glass, and items related to food and household uses, as well as toys, sports equipment, and folk art blend color and domestic detail to the picture of early Canadian life. Artifacts and arts of the First Nations peoples include clothing and accessories, hunting and fishing equipment, weapons of war, domestic implements, ceremonial items, and art, as well as archaeological finds from early Aboriginal cultures. The last word. So, guys, these are the best things to do in Montreal, Canada. Hope you will like it and appreciate it. People who come to this city are amazed by all of the awesome things there are to do and see. Montreal is the largest city in the province of Quebec and is actually an island surrounded by the St. Lawrence River. One of the most picturesque cities in Canada draws from its history, making you feel like you've stepped into a charming European destination. Located close to hotspots in the United States like New York City and Boston, it is convenient to travel to and from Montreal, where there are fun activities year-round. So, if you love to travel and you want to see the whole world, then this is the channel that gives you a list of the best places to visit in the world. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for the latest upcoming travel videos. Bye bye, see you in the next video.